Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Davis again, and today we're going to learn to draw a frog on a lily pad. So just like famous artist Claude Monet, we're going to draw our frog on a lily pad in the middle of a pond. So Claude Monet was famous for drawing water lily ponds. In fact, his entire backyard was a water lily pond. So we're going to draw like Claude Monet today. So first we're going to get out a black crayon. It has to be a crayon. It cannot be a marker for this project because we're going to paint over this later. If you paint over marker, it's going to smear. So make sure you have a black crayon. All right, so for the frog, we're going to draw 2 round eyes. Just do your best because I know we're not using a pencil. Just do your best. Okay, then we need the inside of the eyes. And mine's not perfect. Look here. And yours is not going to be perfect because we're learning. The most important thing is that you have fun. So don't worry if it's not perfect because we're learning. All right, so we're going to connect the eyes with the top of the frog's head. And then we're going to give him a big round chin. Now, you can make this big, but make sure to leave room for the body and the feet. All right, and our frog needs to breathe. So let's give him 2 nostrils. And he needs to eat, so we can give him a big smile, maybe with some cheeks. Some people like to add a tongue, and that's fine. Okay, if you want a girl, you can add eyelashes. Okay, now we're going to draw the little body. So the little body is just a little round body, almost like a circle. And if you don't have a lot of room below your head, that's okay, because the smaller the body is, the cuter the frog is. Now I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to draw some little froggy feet. So we're going to draw 4 of the same shape. Here's what the shape's going to look like. It's going to be 2 lines coming out from behind the frog. And then we're going to connect these lines with a hop, hop. Okay? Somebody earlier said, well, that looks like the McDonald's symbol. If that's what you want to draw, if you're drawing the McDonald's symbol, you go for it. All right, so here's my front foot. And that was one of my back feet. So again, we need 2 lines. And then we connect them with 2 hops. Because he's got little webbed feet. Okay, and here's my last back leg. Hop, hop. And there's my little froggy feet. Oh, mine's a girl, so it's her feet. All right. Now, we're going to draw the lily pad. Okay, the lily pad is going to start in front of her. Okay, maybe somewhere out here. We're going to go out wide and then behind the body. Okay, we'll come out the other side of the body. And when we come back around, we're going to leave a little space instead of just connecting it. Okay, and then the lily pads, they have this little split. So we're going to draw it like either maybe an arrow or a triangle. And I like to make it point towards the middle of the lily pad. And then we just decorate our lily pad. So I'm going to draw some little lines coming out. So because a lily pad is actually a leaf. It's just a leaf that hangs out on top of the water. Okay, and leaves usually have these lines or veins running through them. All right, now at this point, I want you to get out a white crayon, okay? And I want you to trust me on this, okay? So what we're going to do next week is we're going to paint the background blue. All right, and we're going to use watercolor paints. Hopefully you have some watercolor paints at home. And if you don't have watercolor paints, you can use a Crayola marker, okay? So markers will work too. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to get out a white crayon and we're going to draw our background with it, okay? So there's a specific way I want you to draw your background. And I'm going to draw my background with black just so you can see it, okay? But your background's going to be white, okay? I just want you to trust me on it. I know that when you draw white on top of white, it's really hard to see, okay? But that's going to be okay. There's a reason for it. When we paint our background, our water next week, that white is going to show back up. Okay, because that white crown is going to push those watercolor paints away from it. All right, so while you will not be able to see it while you draw it today, whenever we paint over it and we paint our pond, those little water puddles and raindrops that we're going to paint, those are going to show up because they're going to push that watercolor away. All right, so get out a white crayon, even though I'm drawing with black. Okay, I'm just drawing with black so you can see it. You're going to draw with white, so you're not going to see it. So we're going to take that lily pad shape and we're going to draw a couple of ovals around each other like this. And that's going to be the little puddle in the pond. And then we're going to draw a little raindrop going to it. Okay, I'm just going to draw a little dashed line. And these dashed lines need to go all in the same direction. Okay, so I'm going to draw another puddle. And we're just going to fill up our background with these white puddles and raindrops. And then when we paint blue over it later, it's going to look really cool. Okay, you can even have some hanging off the side. That just makes your paper look realistic, like it extends past the paper. Okay, there's a couple more. Dash, dash, dash. I always tell my students to go ahead and do the puddle and the raindrop all at one time, because if you don't, you may lose the puddle and not know where to put the raindrop. So if you like go and try to put all your puddles and then go back and do all your raindrops, well, you're coloring with white, right? You're drawing with white. It's going to be really hard to find all of those puddles. So do it all at one time. Oval, oval, and raindrop. That way you don't have to come back to it. Okay. And you just fill up your whole background with these little rain puddles. So it's like he's sitting in a big pond, or she's sitting in a big pond. All right, and then next week, my students are going to get some watercolor paints, and we're going to use blue paint, green paint, and lime green paint. And they're only going to get those 3 colors, but that's really all they need. And I let them go ahead and use some crayon on the frog. So like if they wanted to paint their little tongue pink, if they wanted to paint their frog green or a different color, they can color their frog and their lily pad today. Okay, so if you do want to color, just make sure to only color the frog and the lily pad. Don't color the background, okay? And don't color with markers. That's very important. Okay, you can do the painting part with markers, but don't do the drawing or the coloring with markers. Okay, that's going to be really important. Okay, so basically everything we do today needs to be with crayon. And everything we do next week needs to be with paint or markers. Okay. Now these can overlap, so it's okay if you have some kind of going over each other, that's fine. That just makes it look really rainy. All right, so once again, there's my frog with my background. My frog was drawn with a black crayon, not a marker. And my background was drawn with a white crayon, not a black crayon, okay? Or well, mine was drawn with black just so you guys could see what I'm doing. You need to draw yours with white, okay? All right, and then hold on to this paper. And next week, we're going to get it back out and we're going to paint the background, okay? So if you want to go ahead and color your frog and your lily pad, go ahead and do that, but don't touch the background. Just kind of leave it white and mysterious. And when we paint the pond next week, all of your white raindrops and puddles are going to show up, okay? All right, guys, I hope you had fun drawing a frog with me. Go ahead and color your frog and your lily pad if you want and save the background for next week, okay? All right, I'm Miss Davis, and I will see you next time.